Hello, hello. You're watching Trending with the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Ashley Northington, the agency director and founder at DENOR Brands and Public Relations, and I'm here on behalf of the Tennessee Tribune with Ana Escobar, who is running for General Sessions Division 3 judge. We're here to learn more about the candidates for running for office so that you can be informed about the issues that matter to you most. So let's jump right in. So Ana, tell me a little bit more about you and why you decided to run for office.
Well, I came to this country from Colombia, South America, when I was 6 months old. And I have lived in Nashville 43 years, so I've been here most of my life. So I've been a lawyer for 22 years. I was a defense attorney for 12. I've been a DA twice. I was Metro Clerk for 2 years, and I was also the Deputy Director of the AOC. But most recently, I was the team leader for the domestic violence unit at the DA's office. I've had to leave that job in order to run. So this particular slot that I'm running for hears domestic violence cases 8 months out of the year. So this is something I'm very passionate about. There are a lot of innovations and exciting things happening in Nashville in that work, and I want to be a part of it.
Wonderful. So talk to me a little bit more about this passion. What has prepared you for this specific judgeship?
Well, I am on the board of the YWCA for the last 6 years. This will be my last year. And I was actually the advocacy chair for the last 2 years. And so we passed legislation to help domestic violence victims. And I thought I understood domestic violence, but honestly, not till I had the opportunity to actually speak to hundreds of victims and hear their stories did I really start to understand how complex this is. It's more than just the power and control wheel.
Sure.
It is much more complex. Another thing is that the domestic laws in Tennessee are very broad. So you can be labeled domestic violence if you're a roommate, if you are family members, or an intimate partner. Another thing that I learned was that there are a lot of adult children with mental health issues that live with their parents. Sometimes they get off their medication, and so mom and dad call mobile crisis, but because in that interaction the adult child pushed them, all of a sudden that adult child is going to jail instead of mobile crisis. So we deal with a lot of different things and people in different journeys in these types of relationships. So my passion is, just getting to know these people, hearing their stories, trying to figure out how to help them.
Wonderful. Well, they say that you're pretty lucky if you get to marry your passion with your vocation. Yes. So that's amazing that you're doing that work. So talk to me a little bit about what you think is the biggest obstacle in this specific role that you're running for, and how do you plan to address that obstacle?
So at the DA's office, we really try to help victims.
Sure.
They say it takes 7 times for somebody to leave an abusive relationship. So when somebody enters the judicial system or the legal system, we don't know where they are on that journey. So it is so important for that person to realize that when they go into court, they're going to somewhere that's neutral, that will treat them with respect and dignity, and that their case hasn't been decided before they even enter the courtroom.
Wow.
On the flip side, if you're accused of domestic violence, you lose a lot. Before you even get to court, some people lose their jobs, their housing, and custody of their children. So it is very important for those people accused of the crime to have their case heard quickly. And they also need to feel like they were able to present evidence and testimony and witnesses for their defense. And if they are found guilty, I think they would respect the ruling of the court a lot more. So what traditionally happens is that people accused of domestic violence go to classes.
Sure.
My interest, and has been my interest for a while, is to explore what are these classes doing.
Sure.
I mean, they are state mandated, but they are 26 classes, 26 weeks, and that's a big sacrifice for a family.
Yeah.
And you could spend up to $700 going to these classes. I know that the Office of Family Safety is about to start studying whether or not there's recidivism and whether or not these classes are doing any good. So to address your question in a
Sure.
very long-rounded way,
No.
I think that we need to be more thoughtful about what we're doing in the criminal justice system, because these are affecting our families and our children. And, you know, they say that a child is two times more likely to be either a batterer or battered if they've witnessed it in their childhood. So really, at the end of the day, this is about the child in these homes. So we need to figure out, what is it we're doing? What are we asking these people to do to kind of fix their family unit?
Wonderful. So what do you feel, aside from, serving on the board of the
Mhm.
YWCA, what do you feel has prepared you to be a judge?
I think I've been an attorney, a defense attorney, like I told you, for 12 years.
Sure.
I have had jury trials in federal court and state courts throughout Middle Tennessee. So I've been before all kinds of judges who treated me in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So as a defense attorney, I've been there. I've held the hand of a child, really, a 19-year-old who was found guilty of murder and is doing life.
Wow.
And that is the worst feeling, honestly, to be alongside somebody who's just, lost a case. So I
Yeah.
feel like I have represented people that are indigent as a public defender. I've represented people from all walks of life who don't speak the language,
Yeah.
who are undocumented. So I can appreciate how people walk into the court system and how we could make it better for them and more accessible
Sure,
for those people that are disenfranchised.
sure.
On the other hand, as a DA, I know how hard it is to come into court and accuse someone that you love.
Mm-hmm.
That is the father of your child or the mother of your child. And so there are things that we can do to make the experience a lot less threatening and a lot less traumatic.
Sure.
So I think having seen both sides of things will help me make the court system more accessible to everyone.
Wonderful. So I know that you've been on both sides of this, and so you have a unique perspective in that way. What other special sauce are you bringing to this?
Well, I consider myself an innovator. So when I'm just going to give you a couple of examples.
Sure.
When I was Metro Clerk, I saw that all these leadership classes coming through the council chamber.
Tons.
And so I thought, the employees of Metro are really good people, and we do really good things in Metro. So I started a program along with Mayor Dean called My City Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was 6 months, and new Americans and neighborhood leaders came and listened to presentations from all the departments. Like one day was infrastructure, public safety, and so they got to meet the directors and got the phone numbers and knew where to call when something happened. It was a great program. Mayor Berry also continued it, and I'm hoping Mayor Briley will also continue it. It's been a great networking thing for them, and the city's been able to plug these people into boards and commissions. So I bring that up to show that when I'm at a job, I am engaged, and if I see that there is an opportunity for others to get engaged in government, then I try to create that. I try not to complain about things, I try to fix them.
Yeah.
For instance, while I was team leader of domestic violence, I saw that there was a gap in the harassment law. And in 2016, through the advocacy committee at the YWCA, we were able to change the harassment law. We got the bill passed.
Oh, wow.
So it was all what we did is that technology hadn't caught up with the law.
Sure.
So to harass someone, you could call them continuously.
Well, now you can text them.
Nobody calls anybody anymore. So so now, you're right, texting,
Facebook,
social media.
Yeah.
So we got the law changed to include all those kinds of contact that are happening that are harassment. And in the past, they didn't count because it wasn't a phone call.
Sure.
So that I'm giving you those as examples because when I see something, I try to fix it.
Wonderful. So you're a solutionist.
I am yes.
I love
yes,
that.
I
That's
try.
good.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, I know we talked before, and there's a little bit of confusion about what the general sessions, judges are doing. So can you share with the Trending with Tennessee Tribune audience, like that there are different categories? Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. It's very confusing. So Normally, judges have an 8-year term.
Sure.
But we, in May, have a special election because we've had 4 judges either retire or move on.
Sure.
So we have 2 slots that are running, Division 10 and Division 3, and I'm in 3.
Yes.
And then we have Chancery and Criminal Court.
Yes.
So in general sessions, there are 11 slots of 11 judges, and really that number really doesn't mean anything. So all of Davidson County can vote for each of us in Division 10 and Division 3. So it doesn't mean that only District 3 or only District 10 can vote for those people. All of Davidson County can do that.
All of Davidson County can do that if they ask for the specific ballot.
Exactly.
What do they have to ask
so
for?
The other piece of this is, first of all, you need to register before April 2nd, right?
Yes.
Online.
Yes.
You can do it. So once you're registered and once you go to the polls, you have to ask for a Democrat primary ballot in order to see any of the metro offices that are up.
Right.
So that it's not just the judges, it's the clerks, the sheriff, register of deeds, all that. If you don't do that, the only thing you'll see is transit.
Right.
And so you'll walk into the booth and only see transit and go, well, what happened? So you have to ask for the Democrat primary ballot.
Wonderful.
And if you happen, to vote in Republican primaries, that primary is only in August. So you're not missing out on any Republican candidates in May.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. I
Yes.
just wanted to make sure that we highlighted that critical piece of information for the audience. Now tell me, this is the tough question.
Okay.
Why should people vote for you?
I think people should vote for me because I'm not a politician.
Sure.
I'm a public servant. And I have been a lawyer for 22 years. A majority of my law practice has been in general sessions. I care about the people who work there. I care about the people who come there. I think we have a responsibility to make it more accessible. I think that this is a very exciting time in criminal justice in Nashville because people are starting to have more open ideas
Sure.
about how to change things, how to, whether punishment is appropriate in jail. There's some exciting conversations happening,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm open to those. And like I tried to explain, I'm an innovator. I will try things. If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. I don't have that kind of ego that it's my way or the highway.
Good.
So I will come to work. I will work hard. I will do my job, and I will be engaged. One thing I like to tell people is, I'm not a politician, but in my adult career, I've been on 20 nonprofit boards, professional associations, and government commissions because I'm engaged, because I love Nashville, and Nashville's my home. And if, a fun fact that if I were to get elected, I would be the first immigrant Hispanic judge in Davidson County.
Now tell me a little bit about what would that mean to you? What do you think that means to Davidson County for you to be the first immigrant Hispanic judge?
It's more than me.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I have worked hard and I've done everything I've tried to get here. But
Sure.
honestly, it's more about those kids that are watching me try to do this, and for them to see that if you work hard, go to school, you can achieve your dream. And that's what this is about.
Wonderful.
And when people come to court, they see somebody who understands the cultural differences, that there's language barriers, and not get impatient and disrespectful.
That's important.
That's the important thing. Not that they're going to be treated differently, but it's the disrespect that sometimes happens.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, folks, you've heard it here first. We've been chatting with the lovely Ana Escobar. She is asking for your vote here in May. Stay tuned for more candidate interviews. Thank you.
Thank you.